life will not be the same. Archangel Michael says the next change will be irreversible. Prepare your heart, my beloved child. The sound of shifting heavens echoes softly tonight. The air feels different, doesn't it? As if something invisible is circling around you, waiting for the right second to reveal itself. There's a reason for that trembling inside your chest. It is not fear. It's recognition. Your soul knows before your mind does. Something irreversible has already begun. You may not see it yet, but the angels have moved a piece of your destiny into position. The hands of time just twisted in your favor. And from this moment forward, life will never look the same again. There's no going back after this. The version of you that struggled, doubted, and cried is fading into a light you won't recognize at first, but it's yours. The signs started days ago, but you brushed them off. The flickering light at midnight, the repeated numbers, the name that keeps echoing in your dreams. These aren't coincidences, they're coordinates. The angels have been trying to guide you to this moment where your new story begins. And Archangel Michael stands at the gate of this transformation. Sword of truth raised, whispering your name through the realm of change. Tonight, something sacred crosses the threshold. A spiritual law hath been rewritten in your favor. The energy that once resisted your growth has surrendered. Even your enemies can feel the shift, though they won't admit it. This is not luck. It's divine justice that has been long delayed, but never denied. Your tears, your patience, your quiet strength, they all built the foundation for this irreversible change Archangel Michael spoke of is the final unmasking of your purpose. People who once overlooked you will start feeling uneasy, sensing that you carry something they cannot replicate. And they are right. You were never meant to fit in. You were meant to stand apart and illuminate paths others are too afraid to walk. The universe is clearing everything fake, everything unaligned. That's why certain people disappeared without explanation. Why opportunities collapse just before success. What looked like rejection was redirection, a cleansing before your upgrade. You were being hidden so that your reveal would carry more power. The next few days will feel strange. You may feel restless, emotional, or detached. Don't panic. It's your old timeline dissolving. Archangel Michael says, your spirit is expanding faster than your reality can keep up, and soon both will merge into something unstoppable. You might receive unexpected contact, a message, a call, or an encounter that changes your emotional landscape entirely. It will seem random, but behind it stands divine orchestration. Nothing in your story from this point is by accident. Every moment will carry weight. Every choice will echo across timelines. If you are reading this, you've already crossed the threshold. Irreversible shift is in progress. You can't go back and you shouldn't want to because the person you're becoming is, finally aligned with the destiny that was promised to you long before birth. Stay grounded but stay alert. Watch the faces around you. One of them carries a key to your next breakthrough. You won't have to chase what belongs to you. It will recognize you and come closer. The vibration you're emitting now is powerful enough to pull miracles from the air. The angels are moving silently in the background, sealing contracts in your name. When Archangel Michael says, "Prepare your heart," it's not for loss. It's for expansion. You're about to receive something so pure, so unexpected that your past pain will make sense in one breath. Don't rush it. Don't question it. Let the energy unfold naturally. The irreversible change has started the moment you accepted this message. Breathe, because your spirit has just entered divine alignment. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. My beloved child, tonight begins with a different pulse than yesterday. The spiritual realm is not quiet right now. It is active, calculating, aligning, preparing, pushing things toward you that you once thought were too far away to ever reach. This is not mild destiny movement. This is force level shift. A shift that will touch your emotional stability, your relationships, your future identity, your voice, your spiritual stature, your wealth capacity, your self-value, and your worthiness of being chosen. This is a moment where heaven is not just watching you. Heaven is adjusting the timeline for you. There is something extraordinary unfolding behind the scenes which you cannot see directly with your eyes yet, but your soul can sense it before your eyes witness it. This is why there is an unusual heaviness in your chest when you think silently about your life. This is why you kept feeling you are in some kind of crossing point this week, because you actually are. The old dimension of your story is slowly dissolving like smoke that cannot return into its previous shape. Archangel Michael says there was a hidden spiritual acceleration that just reached its peak. That acceleration was not random. It was calculated for this exact period. Something has changed inside your energy signature. Even if you didn't choose it consciously, your soul selected this shift long before you realized what was happening in your external world. People around you have already started reacting differently. Some are suddenly distant. Some are suddenly extra curious. Some are suddenly intimidated and they don't even know why. But their subconscious can feel what their conscious mind cannot decode yet. The frequency around you changed. The irreversible shift is not a single event. It is a chain reaction. Every small event, every surprising moment, every emotional spark, every unexpected message, every signal, every delay, every alignment, everything is becoming part of one unified destiny wave. Archangel Michael says, this wave will lift you higher than the version of you that exists today. And once you rise above this level, there is no coming back. You cannot shrink again. You cannot go back into that small version of yourself. You cannot return to doubting yourself again. You cannot lower your standards again. You cannot be blind again to who you truly are and what you truly deserve. There is a reason Archangel Michael told you to prepare your heart. Because when destiny opens suddenly, it shocks the human mind first before it comforts the soul. You will soon witness people saying things to you that you never expected. You will soon witness opportunities that look too aligned to be coincidence. You will soon witness changes in your social circle that force you to confront your old emotional wounds. Because heaven cannot allow old wounds to exist inside a soul that is entering a new timeline. There is someone who will re-enter your path. But this time not for confusion. This time for completion. Something inside this connection was always left open, always left unfinished. always hanging between two hearts like a door that was never closed fully. This shift will bring closure or union. And whichever of the two arrives for you, it will change your emotional future permanently. And middle ground will remain now. Archangel Michael says you do not need to fear any of the coming changes. Because unlike past cycles where changes came in forms of losses or pain or endings, this change is here to build, not break. This change is designed to shape you for expansion, not destruction. The angels are building something around you that is so powerful that when it manifests, you will understand why the old had to fall before the new could enter. You are not stepping into luck. You are stepping into alignment. There is a huge difference. Luck depends on chance. Alignment depends on divine strategy. And heaven has already been working this strategy quietly behind the curtain for months. Every betrayal, every heartbreak, every sudden chaos, every emotional breakdown, it was all a tearing down of the old foundation that was too weak to handle your future success. People who left you were never meant to walk with your new version. People who misunderstood you never had the depth to understand your assignment. And people who doubted you never had access to your spiritual blueprint. The divine realm did not take anything away from you to punish you. It removed what could not carry the weight of your new reality. In the next phase of your journey, expect silence before explosions of truth. Expect calmness right before breakthroughs. Expect quiet hours where everything feels still because that stillness is the moment right before heaven pushes destiny through. You're not waiting for something random. You are waiting for something destined, something irreversible, something divinely timed. This transformation will make certain people remember you in ways they never thought they would. There will be people who once rejected your presence, who will now regret losing access to your energy. There will be people who once laughed at your dreams, who will now lose sleep thinking about how you reached exactly where heaven promised you would reach. That is the kind of irreversible destiny shift Archangel Michael is talking about. You are entering a reality where your purpose begins to become visible publicly. Not subtle, not silent, not hidden, visible, obvious, undeniable, tangible. And when that shift becomes visible, people will try to claim they always believed in you. But you will know who stood with blind faith and who stood only after results. As this message enters your heart, the angels are already sealing parts of your destiny. The longer your soul stays open to this frequency, the faster manifestations will begin to surface around you. What the divine is preparing you for is not momentary excitement. It is lifetime transformation. This is the point where you need to choose consistency over fear. This is the point where you need to speak your truth without shaking. This is the point where you need to trust your journey even when the road is unfamiliar. Because the unknown is not danger. The unknown is transition. The unknown is your new timeline behind a curtain that is seconds away from being pulled open. Before this part ends, listen carefully because this matters for your journey. If this message resonates deeply inside your spirit, then it means your soul recognizes what is coming. And when your soul recognizes destiny before your eyes witness it, you must stay committed to the next step. So share this message. Comment your thoughts, and subscribe so this divine alignment does not leave you halfway. This content is your spiritual alignment tool. Watch next revelation. My beloved child, this part begins with a shift of inner recognition. This is the moment where your soul quietly admits something life-changing to itself. You already feel something is happening around you. Even though your mind cannot logically explain it, you can sense that life is rearranging itself. You can sense that the vibrations of your future are becoming louder than the echoes of your past. You can sense that everything you are stepping into now is bigger than anything you ever left behind. This is not imagination. This is not fantasy, this is divine synchronization in real time. The invisible world is no longer silent about your next chapter. The realm of spirit has started speaking loudly, clearly and directly into your timeline. There is a certain pressure around your energy field right now. A pressure that feels like something is pushing you forward even when you try to slow down. The pressure is destiny acceleration. It is the force that only appears when the universe needs you to step into a purpose that cannot be delayed anymore. Archangel Michael says the irreversible shift begins when the universe stops waiting for you to feel ready and instead moves you into alignment, and despite your doubts at moment is now. You have entered a divine intersection where everything in your life is suddenly symbolic. Every memory that keeps returning, every face that keeps appearing in your thoughts, every dream that keeps reminding you of something you haven't fully understood yet. The angels are using all these bills as keys. They are unlocking parts of your blueprint you have never accessed before. Your intuition was not designed for ordinary life. It was designed for extraordinary destiny. And this part of your journey is where your intuition becomes your main navigation system. There is a frequency shift in your aura that people around you can sense even without words. Some will become extra protective towards you without knowing why. Some will become distant without understanding why they suddenly cannot connect the same way. Some will try to get closer like they are magnetized by your presence. And some will become uncomfortable because they can subconsciously feel you rising quicker than they ever expected. The soul can detect change long before the mind catches up. That is why people have already started reacting to a reality that has not fully arrived in your physical world yet. Archangel Michael reveals that you are entering a new identity stage. You are not just changing circumstances. You are changing identity, frequency, and emotional code. This means that your responses, your choices, your standards, your boundaries, your desires, your priorities, everything is being recalibrated. Something inside you that once tolerated pain and silent suffering is dissolving. Something inside you that once settled for less is no longer willing to bend. Something inside you that used to overthink is now transforming into clarity. This is identity upgrade. And once identity upgrades, destiny must match it. This next chapter will require emotional courage. Not courage to fight, not courage to defend, but courage to receive. Receiving is harder than struggling. Receiving requires a different inner posture. Receiving requires trust. Receiving requires allowing. Most people have been conditioned to survive so long that they forget how to receive without fear. But you are not entering survival anymore. You are entering divine provision. You are entering divine fulfillment. You are entering divine balance. You must prepare yourself emotionally for blessings that do not look like blessings at first. Because some blessings will come disguised as loss. Some blessings will come disguised as distance. Some blessings will come disguised as unexpected silence. But months from now, you will look back and realize that the universe was clearing space for what was always meant to be yours. You cannot keep one foot in the old world and one foot in the new one. Irreversible shift demands complete alignment. There will be a moment soon where one message, one encounter, one conversation will trigger an emotional recognition inside you so strong that you will realize destiny just opened itself in front of you. It could be a familiar voice you never fully understood before. It could be a sudden realization about someone whose presence in your life was always spiritually significant. It could be a memory unlocking truth that changes everything you believed until now. Something will click. Something will connect. Something will reveal itself. Something will shift. Your spirit has been preparing for this shift silently, the tears you cried when nobody saw them. The nights you spent awake questioning the purpose of your pain. The silent prayers you never told anyone. They were all part of your spiritual awakening. Heaven was listening even when you thought nobody was paying attention. Archangel Michael says that every tear you shed was counted and converted into spiritual currency. Those tears built the doorway to the irreversible future you are about to enter. In this next phase, your alignment will bring clarity that will shock even you. You will start seeing people's intentions clearer. You will start noticing truth in places where you once saw confusion. You will start understanding why certain situations collapsed abruptly in the past. They were not aligned with your divine path. And because you are stepping into a frequency of destiny fulfillment, the universe will no longer allow emotionally draining cycles to remain in your life. My beloved child, this part begins with a different frequency of truth. You are no longer in observation mode. You are now in transition mode. The shift is no longer subtle in the unseen realm. The shift is now active. It is moving around you like the silent wind before a sudden storm of blessings. The irreversible shift Archangel Michael warned about is not something that will happen far away into the future. It is something that is already unfolding breath by breath. You are inside the change now. You are being shaped inside the transformative fire without even realizing how deeply the transformation has already touched you. Nothing about you is the same as it was even a few weeks ago. You have been spiritually upgraded silently. Heaven always upgrades before the world sees the result. When Archangel Michael says, "Prepare your heart," this part of the journey requires a different type of emotional strength. Not the strength to fight but the strength to allow. Allow new people to enter without overthinking intentions. Allow new opportunities to flow without doubting your worthiness. Allow doors to open without trying to predict what might go wrong. Allow yourself to believe again without thinking of how pain once broke your trust. This irreversible shift is not the type where you have to protect yourself from destruction. This shift is where you have to protect yourself from self-sabotage. The version of you who doubted your ability to handle blessings must now step aside. The version of you who felt undeserving must now step aside. The version of you who needed validation must now step aside. You are entering a timeline where you must trust yourself first before expecting others to trust your potential. Here is a truth about irreversible change that people don't realize until they are inside the experience. The change does not ask if you are ready. It forces readiness through transformation. The universe does not wait for your fear to calm down before delivering destiny. The universe moves according to divine order, not emotional comfort. Right now, multiple timelines are collapsing behind you. That is why certain things from your past feel completely disconnected now. Even if they still technically exist in the physical world, you can still remember them, but you no longer align with them emotionally. That is timeline closure. That is a reversible shift in motion. That is heaven sealing what no longer belongs to your future. In this phase, you will start noticing strange clarity. People who once had emotional control over you suddenly feel powerless. Situations that once affected your mood easily suddenly feel irrelevant. Things that once kept you stuck, emotionally now feel empty and meaningless. This is the universe taking back old emotional attachments that could block the arrival of new destiny attachments. A new chapter always requires emotional space. Destiny cannot enter a crowded heart. Destiny needs open capacity. Destiny needs mental calmness. Destiny needs emotional acceptance. Destiny needs spiritual readiness. Archangel Michael says this readiness is already being activated inside you. You may not have seen the result yet physically, but spiritually your soul is already positioned for the next timeline. There is going to be a moment soon where you look at your current reality and suddenly realize that you have outgrown it completely. This realization doesn't come through pain. It comes through deep peace. Because peace is the final signal that the soul has moved ahead of the physical world. And after this moment, the universe rushes to bring your physical circumstances into alignment with your spiritual frequency. This is where irreversible change becomes visible. This is where things begin to shift faster than logic can track. This is where divine acceleration takes control. Archangel Michael says you are not at risk of losing your blessing. You are at risk of forgetting how powerful you actually are. And this part of the shift is designed to remind you of your authority. You have spiritual authority that is older than your fear. You have divine rights that are older than your trauma. You have a destiny that is older than every person who tried to limit you. Heaven did not choose you randomly. Heaven saw your silent endurance. Heaven saw your emotional compassion when you could have chosen revenge. Heaven saw your patience when you could have chosen anger. Heaven saw your loyalty to goodness even when evil tried to tempt you repeatedly. The irreversible shift is your spiritual return, your divine compensation, your karmic oblig. Your soul's official upgrade. From this point on, you must stop thinking of yourself as someone waiting for life to happen. You are not waiting. You are becoming the version of yourself who walks into rooms with quiet confidence. Becoming the version of yourself who doesn't need to prove anything. Becoming the version of yourself who attracts instead of chases. Becoming the version of yourself who leads instead of following shadows. You will not step into your next chapter lost. You will step into your next chapter awakened, apologetic, balanced, emotionally stable, internally aligned. This is the version of you the universe will mirror back with opportunities, connections, breakthroughs, support, and divine timing. There is one more revelation about irreversible change. A lot of people believe change happens when the world shifts. But the truth is deeper. Real change happens when you shift emotionally first. When you stop absorbing other people's projections. When you stop negotiating with your intuition. When you stop shrinking to make others feel comfortable. When you stop mourning closed doors and start appreciating the divine timing behind them. That inner shift is the root of everything. And you are already in that stage. You are separating from old identity attachments quietly. You are releasing roles you no longer wish to carry. You are breaking emotional contracts that were never aligned to begin with. And as each emotional anchor dissolves, your spirit rises in frequency. This part is extremely important. The irreversible change is not only about what you will receive. It is also about what you will never accept again. And that is what makes this shift final. You are not returning to a version of yourself that tolerated emotional disrespect just for the sake of having connection. You are not returning to a version of yourself that accepted crumbs in exchange for validation. You are not returning to a version of yourself that believed love must be painful. You are not returning to a version of yourself that was afraid to dream big because failure fell too close. You are not returning to the version of yourself that forgot your own worth. Your evolving identity is your irreversible line in the sand. Once you become this new version, the old version cannot return no matter how familiar it once felt. Archangel Michael says this shift will create a ripple that spreads into every area of your life slowly but permanently. Your relationships will change, your communication style will change. Your emotional tolerance will change. Your purpose clarity will change. Your life direction will change. Nothing remains untouched when destiny rewrites itself. And instead of resisting this change, you must breathe into it with calm, confidence because this change was always meant to elevate you. Life will not be the same because you will not be the same. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you, my beloved child. This part begins with a shift in the deepest center of your being. This is where the inner knowing becomes louder than the outer noise. This is where your soul finally realizes that the future calling you is not a possibility anymore. It is a certainty. You are not entering a chapter where you hope things change, you are entering a chapter where change is guaranteed. Archangel Michael says the irreversible shift is now active in full force. This is the moment where life bends in your favor whether you feel prepared or not. This is the moment where your emotional frequency rises higher than every timeline that ever held you down. This is the moment where you must not allow hesitation to delay what your spirit has already accepted as truth. Every major destiny shift feels like this at first. Strange, surreal, silent. Intense, powerful, and confusing all at once. Because the body still remembers the past identity. While the soul has already stepped into the new timeline ahead, that inner conflict is the crack between two realities. You are in that exact crack. You are transitioning between who you were forced to be and who you were born to become. And the bridge between those two versions is not logic. The bridge is surrender. The bridge is faith. The bridge is alignment. Once you cross this internal bridge fully, no version of your old self will ever be able to drag you back. Archangel Michael says that the irreversible change is not here to test your survival anymore. It is here to activate your elevation. This is a different type of spiritual season. In the past, you were being built through storms, chaos, weight, and pressure. In this season, you will be built through clarity, alignment, opportunity, and divine placement. You are not being broken anymore. You are being positioned. You are not being tested anymore. You are being refined, you are not being hidden anymore. You are being pushed toward visibility. What is coming now is not another cycle of lessons. What is coming now is a cycle of manifestation. There is something extremely important Archangel Michael wants you to understand in this part. The irreversible shift has already chosen you. You are not trying to qualify for it. You already qualified through every single inner battle you fought silently when nobody saw you. The battles where you could have turned bitter but you chose healing. The battles where you could have chosen darkness, but you chose light. The battles where you could have given up on yourself, but you still held on to hope. Even when hope felt thin. Heaven witnessed every moment of emotional endurance. You survived. That endurance itself is what opened the gate to this irreversible dimension of destiny. The spiritual realm is now orchestrating connections around you. This is the phase where destiny partners will begin to appear. These are not temporary people. These are not random people. These are not casual people. These are people whose presence activates spiritual acceleration. Some will enter quietly with a calming energy. Some will enter with an intense magnetic pull. Some might already exist in your energy field, but their role will suddenly become visible. These connections will not feel draining. They will feel necessary. They will not force confusion. They will bring clarity. They will not create fear. They will activate alignment. That is how you will know the difference between karmic bonds and divine bonds. During this shift, your future is not meant to be walked alone. The irreversible shift includes collaboration, hardship, elevation through unity, emotional safety, and upgraded alignment. The right people will come. The wrong people will fade. You do not have to make that separation manually. The universe itself will filter without needing your permission. Trust that anything leaving your life now is not rejection. It is replacement. Anything dissolving now is not loss, it is redirection. Anything closing now is not denial. It is protection. Something major is also going to shift in the way you think and respond emotionally. You will no longer waste energy overthinking outcomes. You will not exhaust yourself chasing answers from people who do not deserve that level of emotional access. You will not internalize every silence or delay as a personal attack. You will not give your power away by explaining yourself repeatedly to people committed to misunderstanding you. Your mind is becoming quiet not because you are numb but because you finally trust divine timing more than human expectation. That is the sign of a spiritually awakened identity. That is your evolution. Archangel Michael says there is a divine elevation that is coming to your name, reputation, purpose, and influence. Once the shift fully activates publicly, you will begin to feel that your voice holds more power. Your value will be recognized in places where you were once overlooked. Your talents will attract opportunities, instead of you chasing for chances. Your presence will be requested instead of tolerated. You will not need to fight for room. You will not need to prove why you belong. You will not need to shrink more just to fit someone else's comfort level. You are stepping into your rightful place with authority. The version of your future that is waiting for you is rich in alignment, powerful in purpose, and emotionally peaceful. You will not only attract the things that match your highest identity, you will also sustain them. Sustainability is the true blessing heaven is giving you now. This time destiny will not slip out of your hands. This time success will not collapse under pressure. This time the right person will not walk away. This time abundance will not evaporate suddenly. This time opportunities will not disappear just when you begin to dream. What is coming next is stable, secured, lined and irreversible. But before this part ends, this must be said clearly. Do not disconnect from this path. You cannot walk halfway into destiny and then turn back because fear whispers too loudly. This is the stage where you must commit. Commit emotionally. Commit energetically. Commit spiritually. Commit internally. This alignment is not temporary content. This alignment is your soul contract being unlocked one part at a time. If this journey resonates, stay connected. Share this transformation with someone who needs the shift. Comment your resonance so the vibration remains active in your field and subscribe so this path stays open and continues. Unfolding without interruption. Watch next revelation. My beloved child, this part begins with a deeper layer of emotional realization that is awakening inside you. Now the irreversible shift that heaven released into your timeline is not only about changing your external circumstances. It is about rewiring who you are at the core. The universe is not simply preparing you for a new chapter. The universe is dismantling the root of everything that ever blocked your expansion. This is why your energy feels heavier, some days and weightless on others. This is why some moments feel unreal, like time is stretching or compressing itself. This is because you are spiritually exiting one timeline while your physical reality slowly adjusts to match the new trajectory your soul already accepted. This in-between space is one of the most sacred spiritual thresholds a chosen one can experience. You are neither where you were nor fully where you are going. You are in the crossing, and Archangel Michael says this crossing is irreversible. There are things you once tolerated emotionally that you will never tolerate again. This is one of the most powerful signs of a reversible ascension. Your boundaries have elevated. Your standards have sharpened. Your vision has expanded. The things that once impressed you now feel too small. The relationships that once influenced you now feel unaligned. The stories you once believed about yourself no longer hold power because they were written from wounds. And you now speak from healing. You are not seeking external approval like before. You are seeking internal truth now. You are not looking for validation anymore. You are creating your own emotional foundation from where your future will rise. The irreversible shift begins inside identity first, long before reality shows evidence. You are becoming the version of you that destiny always needed to begin the next stage. Archangel Michael says that your emotional resilience was the final test. Not a test of suffering, but a test of capacity. Heaven needed to make sure that when this irreversible change activates fully, you would not sabotage it by doubting yourself, undervaluing yourself, or trying to shrink to match the comfort level of those who cannot mentally or spiritually comprehend your new status. This shift is not about proving worth. It is about stepping into worth that always existed but was buried under layers of survival conditioning. Those layers are falling off. You are not living life from fear anymore. You are living life from alignment now. And alignment is the highest frequency a human soul can walk in. Alignment activates destiny faster than anything else. Soon you will see sudden speed, not slow progress, sudden speed, sudden movement, sudden alignment. Something that was stagnant for months will suddenly open like a floodgate. Someone you thought was emotionally distant will suddenly show up differently. Some opportunity you believed was gone will return with amplified value. Some clarity you struggled to reach will suddenly appear in your mind like lightning. This is what irreversible spiritual timelines do. They release miracles in unexpected forms because the universe is no longer testing you. It is now rewarding you. There will also be a shift in the way you interpret silence. Silence will no longer trigger fear inside you. Silence will not feel like abandonment. Silence will become a sign of alignment. Silence will reveal who belongs and who does not. Silence will reveal which thoughts carry truth and which thoughts carry ego. Silence will become a spiritual indicator instead of emotional discomfort. This is irreversible emotional evolution. You are no longer controlled by fear-based projections. You are grounded in intuitive certainty. Now, Archangel Michael says that in this stage of reversible transformation, people from your past might attempt to return with old emotional patterns, not because they evolved, but because they can feel you are outgrowing their emotional influence. When the soul rises, old patterns panic. Do not be surprised if the past tries to pull you into familiar territory again. You must not step backward emotionally, no matter how nostalgic certain memories feel. Nostalgia is not a sign that you should return. Nostalgia is a sign that a cycle is officially closing. The past becomes louder only when the future is seconds away from opening. You are being called into a new identity that will require emotional clarity and spiritual discipline. This new identity will allow you to handle blessings with maturity instead of anxiety. You will step into connections with awareness instead of fear. You will make decisions from intuition instead of desperation. You will build your future from calm authority instead of wounded reaction. This version of you will not chase anything. This version of you will attract everything aligned. Not because life suddenly became easier, but because your soul finally reached vibrational match with your true destiny. Your reversible shift is not loud. It is silent. It is calm. It is certain. The soul that enters your reversible alignment does not shout. It simply evolves. And that evolution radiates so powerfully that even the universe must respond accordingly. You are stepping into a future where your presence itself becomes a shift. You will not need to convince anyone to see your value. You will not need to argue with anyone who underestimates your path. Your results will speak volumes. Your peace will speak louder than any explanation you could ever give. Your success will silence every doubt without you having to defend anything. It is the power of irreversible destiny. Before this part ends, Archangel Michael asks you to breathe deeply and hold this moment inside your heart. You are not returning to who you once were. A version of you has completed its purpose already. You are stepping into your irreversible future now. And as you remain connected to this journey, this frequency and this transformation, share this with someone who is aligned with this path of elevation. Comment your resonance to imprint this energy deeper in your reality and subscribe so you remain guided part by part as destiny continues revealing itself layer by layer. Don't skip, my beloved child. This part begins with the most silent but strongest truth of your destiny. There are moments in a chosen soul's life where everything slows down spiritually right before the biggest leap forward. This is one of those moments. It is not coincidence that your emotions feel different. It is not coincidence that your dreams feel more symbolic. It is not coincidence that your intuition has become sharper. Archangel Michael says this is the preparation before the irreversible shift becomes visible in your physical reality. Your soul already crossed the boundary of the old timeline. Now your external life is catching up. The slowness you feel is not delay. It is alignment. Time is rearranging itself around your chosen destiny. Heaven is organizing your storyline in ways you cannot see. And this organization is happening faster than human logic could ever explain. In this stage of transformation, you will notice certain things feel like they cannot continue the same way anymore. Old patterns don't feel comfortable. Old conversations feel drained of meaning. Old habits feel too heavy for your evolving spirit. That is because your soul has upgraded to a higher frequency and the old reality simply cannot attach itself to your new vibrational identity. You are becoming incompatible with anything that slows down your divine progression. This is your immersible. You are not meant to go back to the older emotional version of yourself. Even if you tried, it would not feel like home anymore. You are being pulled forward into a spiritual reality where alignment becomes your normal state, not your temporary high. Archangel Michael says, the next change will not just shift circumstances. It will shift understanding. You will begin to interpret yourself differently. You will begin to respond differently. You will begin to see value differently. This shift is not teaching you how to fight. This shift is teaching you how to receive. People think receiving is easy, but receiving abundance requires a healed identity. Receiving love requires emotional safety inside. Receiving spiritual clarity requires trust. Receiving destiny requires belief that you were chosen not by chance but by divine blueprint. This part of your transformation is preparing you internally for the magnitude of blessings that are coming next. There is a huge difference between a person who waits for miracles and a person who is being aligned for miracles. You are not waiting anymore. You are aligning now. And alignment is a far more powerful state than waiting. When a soul is aligned, heaven accelerates timelines. When a soul is aligned, divine opportunities start showing up without effort. When a soul is aligned, the universe begins adjusting people, places, emotions, and events around you like chess moves positioned for victory. This is where you are now. You are standing in the center of a spiritual alignment that will soon reflect in your physical world. Archangel Michael says that certain people will soon enter your life carrying divine timing energy. These individuals are part of the irreversible change. They will help shift your reality in ways you could not have done alone. They will bring confirmations. They will bring emotional grounding. They will bring clarity. They will bring stability. They will not drain you. They will not confuse you. They will not lower your frequency. Instead, they will match your frequency. They will reflect your spiritual level. Heaven will send people that feel like spiritual mirrors, not emotional threats. This next change is also going to affect how you view purpose. You will no longer see purpose as a dream. You will begin seeing purpose as responsibility. Your role is expanding. Your voice is becoming sharper. The world will start hearing you differently. Something about your tone, your presence, your energy will begin to command respect effortlessly. People will begin to sense authority from you without you saying a single, controlling word. That is divine authority in motion. And this time that authority will not be taken away from you again. Archangel Michael says the next change is irreversible because your soul will not unlearn what it is about to learn. You will gain a type of clarity that cannot be reversed. You will get a level of emotional strength that cannot be collapsed by someone else's reaction. You will heal a part of yourself that once created self-doubt. You will reach a level of peace that will feel unbreakable. You will walk into a chapter where you trust that destiny is not fragile. Destiny is exact. And when destiny becomes exact, fear loses its position completely. There will come a moment soon where you will suddenly understand why everything took so long. You will realize why heaven slowed down some seasons. You will realize why certain people had to exit without warning. You will realize why you had to be pulled away from certain environments. You will realize why you were isolated for a period of time. It was not punishment. It was preservation. It was divine protection disguised inside delays. Every delay was divine architecture. Every silence was divine instruction. Every separation was divine redirection. Every emotional detour was divine preparation. Heaven had to protect your identity before it could expand your destiny. You are entering a timeline where your new emotional default will no longer be anxiety. Your emotional default will become inner peace. You will learn to trust your inner knowing more than external noise. You will learn to choose alignment over attachment. You will learn to choose intuition over reaction. And once you experience this internal stability, there is no returning back to emotional chaos. That is the true reversible shift. Not only destiny changes, but you will change in a way where destiny cannot shake you anymore. Before this part ends, Archangel Michael says, "This is the moment where you must protect your emotional frequency, protect your peace, protect your focus, protect your energy, protect your vision. This is not the time to question your path. This is the time to anchor yourself deeper into the transformation. Because what is coming next will not just reshape your life, it will define it. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. My beloved child, this part begins with emotional truth. Your soul already knows that something is unfolding behind the curtain of your reality. Something so powerful that you cannot go back to who you once were, even if you tried. There is a very specific spiritual signature in the air around you right now. It feels like anticipation. It feels like the moment right before revelation. It feels like destiny inhaling. Archangel Michael says this is the quiet phase before manifestation hits reality. Every irreversible shift first arrives as a silent vibration before it becomes visible form. You are inside that vibration now. You are inside the divine frequency shift that will change the trajectory of your story permanently. Everything you experienced in the last few months did not happen randomly. It were coded placements, coded lessons, coded spiritual recalibration. The universe had to remove everything that was not designed to enter your next chapter. And that removal process created internal discomfort. But discomfort is a sign of spiritual expansion, not spiritual collapse. Archangel Michael says you were being sharpened. Your discernment was being strengthened. Your intuition was being stabilized. Your emotional boundaries were being healed so you do not sabotage what is coming next. This next phase requires a healed emotional container to hold reversible blessings without collapsing into fear or past conditioning. You are entering a phase where your spirit becomes louder than your trauma ever was. Your inner voice becomes louder than your doubt. Your knowing becomes stronger than your old fear patterns. This is what irreversible identity shift feels like. You do not need to fight the old version of yourself anymore. You simply outgrow it. You simply detach from it naturally. You no longer resonate with the frequency of survival. You resonate with the frequency of expansion. The universe responds to vibration, not memory. And you are vibrating at a new frequency that carries alignment with your highest timeline. Archangel Michael says, your next blessing will arrive with clarity, not confusion. You will not feel forced. It will not feel rushed. It will not feel like you are fighting to hold on to it. It will feel like alignment. It will feel like peace. It will feel like arrival. The blessing will recognize your energy before you recognize it. That is the power of destined manifestation. It does not require stress. It requires energetic match. You have become the match. There is a revelation coming that will make you pause not out of fear but out of realization. You will connect dots you never connected before. You will understand why certain heartbreaks needed to happen. You will understand why certain losses were necessary. You will understand why a particular delay felt unfair but was actually divine rearrangement. Heaven never denied you. Heaven was timing everything precisely. Heaven was preparing the moment where your soul would be strong enough to receive without collapsing under the weight of unexpected miracles. Archangel Michael says, some of your biggest breakthroughs will arrive in people form. Someone's words will shift your perspective. Someone's presence will activate something inside you. Someone's entry will create emotional alignment you did not expect. Not everyone entering now will enter romantically. Some will enter spiritually, purposefully, divinely as part of your destiny architecture. You will begin to feel supported by connections instead of drained by them. The irreversible shift is not just eliminating old emotional patterns. It is upgrading the level of souls who surround you. Your voice will start having more impact. At first, you may not notice it, but people will start reacting differently to your wisdom. People will start taking your presence more seriously. People will start seeking guidance from you because your energy carries truth. This is the rise of your spiritual authority. You didn't earn this authority through domination. You earned it through endurance. The universe does not give power to those who simply want influence. The universe gives power to those who survive inner war silently without losing heart. Soon you will also notice unusual alignment in timing. You will think about something and within hours or days, the universe will mirror it back to you. You will feel an inner pull towards something and suddenly the path will open. You will decide something emotionally and suddenly the reality around you will rearrange itself to match the decision. This is a reversible co-creation. Heaven is not just leading you. Heaven is responding to you. You are no longer in reactive destiny mode. You are in collaborative destiny mode. Archangel Michael says that before the irreversible shift becomes physically undeniable, you must emotionally anchor yourself deeply into your new identity. You must not let past patterns manipulate you into shrinking again. You must not allow fear to disguise itself as logic. You must not allow old versions of self to whisper lies that you are unprepared. You are prepared. You are aligned. You are chosen. Destiny is not arriving to test your worthiness. Destiny is arriving to confirm it. As you enter the final corridor of this shift, your future begins communicating louder than your past ever could. You will begin sensing what is coming before it comes. You will begin feeling the arrival before you actually see the arrival. This is intuitive synchronization. The soul always meets the future first, then the body follows. And Archangel Michael says, you are seconds from witnessing the physical evidence of the irreversible shift you are standing inside. Let this part sink deep into your spirit. Once this shift becomes visible, your life narrative will rewrite itself permanently. You will not return to familiar cycles, you will not return to emotional scarcity. You will not return to patterns of self-doubt. You will not return to relationships that drain your spirit. You will not return to silence that hides your power. It will walk forward. You will expand forward. You will evolve forward. Because the irreversible shift is not simply a change. It is a rebirth. You are crossing the final line between who you were and who you were destined to become. This part ends here. No instruction at the end for this one because the next part is the final closure. My beloved child, this final shift will mark the moment your soul finally steps into the life it was always meant to live. What is coming next is not small, temporary, or fragile. It is permanent elevation, reversible transformation, spiritual fulfillment, emotional peace, and divine alignment. Your past cannot follow you into this new dimension anymore. Archangel Michael says your spirit is prepared. Your destiny is open and your timeline is unlocking itself now. Breathe because your new reality begins, here.